Yeah, I think this is a challenge that many folk are facing all the time, but more increasingly, of course, now and into 2021. I remember once being advised many years ago when I was also going through periods of redundancy and looking for jobs. I was advised by a very wise person that looking for a job is a full-time job in itself. And I remember being quite flippant and thinking, well, what does that mean? And for me, I found that I instinctively started doing a number of things that I then subsequently, when I did my studies of positive psychology, I actually found that I was doing things that actually positive psychologists would recommend, which is really getting structured about things. So it did become a full-time job. So I structured out my week, the calls I was going to make, the interviews, the research I was going to do, the networking I was going to get involved in. And I treated it like a job in that I got up regularly at the same time, I went to bed regularly at the same time, I nourished my energy, so making sure that I also took plenty of breaks and had good sleep, prioritized my mental health, my physical health, my spiritual and emotional health. And I was doing all of those things without really realizing that that was a thing. And again, it was small, steady steps. It was making sure that I stayed connected as well to that network and that I learned from every interview, every CV experience, every coffee I had with people, that I learned, I took something from that. And when things didn't go well, that I allowed myself some time to just process that and then move forward. And it did actually become almost a full-time job. It was surprising how much, if you can actually schedule your time and be quite practiced about it. The other thing I did was to make sure I was reaching out to other people who were also in a similar situation so that we could share tips and understanding about what's the best way, I'm facing this challenge. What's the way that you dealt with that challenge? What did you learn? So staying connected, because being out of work can feel very isolating. So staying connected is really important. And as I say, subsequently, I discovered that all of these strategies are actually what most of the positive psychologists and most people in this area would recommend us do. Plan, schedule, lots and lots of breaks, lots of self-care, reach out to networks, stay connected with people, and treat every experience of an interview or a discussion as practice. If we can hold it lightly and look at every experience as practice rather than a failure or a success, then that's where the growth mindset can come in handy as well.